Maxton, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful breaded chicken out of these chicken thighs. And I am also going to make this delicious Swiss chard. It's organic Swiss chard, and we're going to turn it into a masterpiece. My son only eats macaroni and cheese. That's probably the only thing he truly enjoys. So I'm going to show you also how to do a quick macaroni and cheese for your stubborn kitties like me. I'm just going to use a skillet about this big and put it on a high heat to get the pan ready. We want to make sure that we're going to get some oil into this pan. So we need to do some extra virgin olive oil as well as 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to come over here and crack 2 eggs in this bowl. And then use your whisk and beat it up a little. This will serve as a binding agent to bread your chicken. I'm going to use, these are Progresso breadcrumbs, Italian style. So take probably about a cup and a half of them, and put it into your bowl. And in this bowl, I've already pre-measured about a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of Italian herbs, that's about a half tablespoon of salt, and some pepper. So now add that mix into your breadcrumbs, stir it around a little bit. Now bring your chicken into the egg wash and set it up so that you kind of have an assembly line all ready to go. And dip your first piece of chicken into the egg wash, and right there into the crumbs. Now let's head over to the stove and get these frying up. By the way, in my pan, what I need to do is crush some garlic. So once that starts happening, take a wooden spoon, spread it around, and you want to get your chicken in as soon as possible. Get it right there in that pan. Turn your heat up and spread it around to the pan. This chicken is amazing. If you ask any of my friends or neighbors that I cook this for, they cannot get enough of it. In fact, it's a frequently requested meal. So now I'm going to make these lovely Swiss chard. And it's going to take me just a few minutes to get the oven going, but how you want to start it is go ahead and preheat your stove top. A nice, like right here I have an iron skillet, and I'm just going to dress it with some olive oil. And I've got some red pepper infused oil that I love. So I'm going to put that in my skillet, get it pretty hot. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and start chopping up the Swiss chard. And I choose the organic Swiss chard because it's so delicious. You really taste the flavor. And go ahead and just chop it pretty fine. It's a very easy meal, and honestly it'll probably take you 20-25 minutes to complete. It's not too bad. I'll never forget the time my mom started growing Swiss chard in her backyard. And wow, her entire yard got taken over by Swiss chard. And we were eating it pretty much every night. And I'm telling you, in the time I was eating it every night, I had so much more energy. So it is well worth it to enjoy this lovely leafy green as often as you can. Okay, so I chopped it up pretty. Our chicken, I'm going to need to reduce it. It's getting hot. Crack this garlic into the pan. And I reduce the temperature of my chicken because it gets done very quickly. Okay. An onion and put it right into that skillet. And then you might need to add a little more olive oil at this point. So now take it by the bunch, put it into your pan. And once you put salt or any sort of salty juice of some sort, say soy sauce, it's going to draw that moisture out. So we're going to dress it with a little soy sauce. And then stir it around and put the lid on it. Oh, the smells in this home are incredible. Wow. I'm going to put my lid on for about 5 minutes and then check it again. Meanwhile, it's time to add in my elbow macaroni. I'm going to add in about 1.5 cups of elbow macaroni. It's already reduced so much. I can smell that soy sauce, the garlic, the onions. It smells amazing. So now's a good time to taste it. See where it's at in terms of flavor. Oh man, that is perfect. What's that soy sauce? Make sure you put a little soy sauce in it because it adds this brilliant amount of salt, but not over salty. This. We'll just let it continue to cook down. About 2 minutes, we'll cut the heat and let it just hang out in the pan. Prior to putting those elbow macaroni in, I seasoned the water. It's ideal to have your water about the same saltiness as the Mediterranean Ocean. Now let's check on the chicken. This chicken gets very, very brown. It's not burnt. It's just a nice brown, crispy thing. And the idea really is the insides maintain a very moist environment, but the outsides are nice and crispy. And our chicken is pretty much just about done. So let's finish up this macaroni and cheese. My elbow macaroni is totally done. It's al dente. So we're straining it. Then we're going to create a roux, which is going to be oh so fun to make. So let your pasta just hang out in the sink or wherever you prefer to put it. Now the step to making a roux, the first step is you want to turn your heat up to probably about a little more than medium. So get your pan nice and hot, or warm I should say, a little more than warm. And then you're going to melt in your butter. Now I'm not going to do that much sauce, probably just about 1.5 cups of sauce to season the macaroni. So we're going to do 3 tablespoons of butter, and then we will whisk in our flour, half and half, and regular milk. So the simple steps to creating a roux is you first need to melt your butter. So I melted 3 tablespoons of butter into this pan. You can hear it, it's starting to slightly brown. So immediately I want to pour in some of my flour mixture. Now I'm not sure how much flour because I'm used to doing this all by sight, sound, etc. So I'd say right now I've added in about 2 tablespoons of flour. Now it's important to immediately follow it up with your milk. So I'm going to do a gradual pour on it because my heat is hot. You don't want to scald what you're working with. So pour it in and continue to stir, stir, stir. It's very, very important. Then reduce your heat. Now I'm going to add in some of my half and half. And then I want to reduce my heat even more. Now I'm going to need some more milk for this because it's getting very, very thick. But yes, this is the base to any cheese sauce you ever picture. And then we're going to start adding in our cheese. So make sure at this point your heat is on low. So we're going to add in about 1 cup of Italian cheese. It's a 5 cheese, so it's got mozzarella, provolone, Romano, Asiago, and Parmesan cheese. So if you notice that your thickness starts to get a little too thick, you want to combat that problem with additional milk. And perfect. I might just season it with a little bit of salt. And now let's add in some cheese. Now it's important that once you add in this cheese, you start to stir pretty quickly. Is a cheese sauce. So at this point, it'd probably be a good idea to add in some cracked pepper. And make sure you taste it. Make sure it tastes up to snuff for you. So I'm going to have a little taste here. Whew. It's perfect. Wonderful. Maybe just a little bit of salt. And it's excellent. So now, the last step is to add in your elbow macaroni. You want to add in your pasta into the sauce, never the other. So I'm adding in my pasta. Go ahead and use a spoon. Get all that goodness in there. Can you see that? If only you had smell-o-vision right now. This smells amazing. Look at that creamy consistency. Just incredible. Look at that. All right, our mac and cheese is done. Let's go ahead and plate this meal so you can see the final product. My macaroni and cheese, my breaded chicken, and my wonderful Swiss chard. Let me taste it and see how it is. Taste this first. Excellent. Let's try that Swiss chard. Wonderful. Bread and chicken. It's so moist. It's got that nice garlicky, yet really Italian seasoned taste. It's wonderful. Like I said, so moist. You have to try these recipes. I will go ahead and post all the directions and ingredients. Thank you so much for watching tonight, and take care.